She smiled when I first met her, called me cute, said I'd fit in. But days later, she kidnapped my little sister and said, "This is your punishment." Tennessee's quiet neighborhoods felt especially cold that January day. There was sunlight, sure, but no warmth in it, like someone had left the light on but stolen the feeling. The streets were empty, and a gray SUV with tinted windows rolled slowly toward a two-story brick house. In the back seat sat Emily, 16, slender, with carefully straightened light brown hair. Her blue dress was modest, but neat. Style wasn't something she lacked, but today, she just didn't feel enough. She held her phone in her hands, screen open to Instagram, pulled up to a profile she'd viewed dozens of times. At Vanessa Blake XO. Vanessa, Jake's sister. Every photo looked like something out of a fitness magazine. Her world felt perfect. Hair, captions, body, confidence. And Emily? She felt like a half-finished school project. Flawed, in need of fixing. She scrolled again. One picture stood out. Vanessa standing by the ocean in a tight white dress, wind in her hair, captioned, "Grace isn't given. It's earned, darling." Emily locked the screen and took a breath. "Nervous?" Jake asked, seated beside her in the driver's seat. His face was calm, but there was hesitation in his voice, like he knew this visit wasn't your average meet-the-family dinner. "A little," Emily replied, more to her hands than to him. They were 2 minutes from his house now, and in Emily's mind, a storm of questions churned. Would Vanessa judge her? Would she measure up? Most of all, was she even good enough to belong in Jake's life? The SUV stopped. In front of them stood a large, clean-cut brick house, porch lined with twinkling fairy lights. Jake rang the doorbell, and the door opened. Vanessa stood there. Tall, lean, golden-haired. She looked like the lead actress of a teen drama. In a white top and black slacks, she carried an effortless kind of perfection. Her smile wasn't warm. It felt more like a quiet assessment. "You must be Emily," Vanessa said, her eyes sweeping subtly, but sharply, from head to toe. "Hi, nice to meet you," Emily said, forcing calm into her voice. "Likewise," Vanessa replied. No enthusiasm, no warmth. At the dinner table, Jake's parents were polite and welcoming. But Vanessa? She was anything but silent. Every word wrapped in politeness, but sharp beneath the surface. When the food was served, Emily helped herself to a small portion of pasta and garlic bread. That's when Vanessa said, "Oh, you're a carbs girl. That's adorable. I remember when I used to not care about macros too." Everyone chuckled politely. But Emily felt something catch in her throat. She smiled, but something inside her cracked. Jake glanced at his sister but said nothing. Later, as the family sat chatting, Vanessa asked out of nowhere, "So, Emily, do you work out regularly? Or just blessed with good metabolism?" Uh, I go on walks," Emily answered quietly. "That's cute," Vanessa said. "At your age, I was doing hot yoga and boxing." As the night went on, each comment, each glance, made Emily feel like some emotional test subject, being studied, not out of concern, but superiority. After dinner, Vanessa suggested a game she'd invented called Truth or Compliment. "Okay, Emily," Vanessa said with a grin. "One truth. What's the one thing you'd change about your body?" Silence fell across the room, and Vanessa just kept smiling, like a hunter who'd found her target's breathing pattern. Emily began. But before she could finish, Vanessa interrupted. "It's okay. We all have our flaws. I used to hate my nose. Thank God for Beverly Hills." Everyone laughed. Emily did too, forcefully, painfully. That night back home, Emily opened Instagram and saw a DM at Vanessa Blake X. "Oh, hey, loved meeting you. Just thought you'd enjoy this. It helped me tons when I was your age." Attached, a weight loss reel from a fitness influencer. It didn't feel like advice. It felt like a dart, wrapped in a pretty bow. When she brought it up to Jake, he shrugged. "That's just her way of bonding, babe. Don't overthink it." But Emily knew. This wasn't bonding. It was psychological marking. It was Vanessa saying, "You'll never belong unless you fit in." Exactly how I define it. Without even noticing it, Vanessa had crept into her thoughts. Not as a guide, but as a mirror reflecting every perceived flaw. Then came another DM. At Vanessa Blake XO. "Next time you come over, remind me to lend you that corset top. It'll look amazing. Super slimming." And that was the start of the erosion. What should have been a simple family dinner was actually the first chapter in a silent battlefield, where Vanessa's smiles were weapons, and Emily's self-worth was the first casualty. It was one of those crisp winter evenings, the sky painted in soft pink and orange. But to Emily, everything looked dull and faded. She stood in front of her closet, clothes scattered everywhere, each one tried on and taken off again. Tonight was Vanessa's birthday dinner, Jake's sister, and a fancy restaurant had been booked. The guest list was long. Vanessa had been hyping the evening as a night to remember on Instagram. Every post, every story felt like a challenge. And Emily felt like she was losing without even stepping into the ring. She finally settled on a black midi dress. Simple, but one that highlighted her figure just enough. She left her hair down, applied a soft lipstick, and whispered to herself, "I'm not competing. I'm just showing up." The restaurant was called Olive Grove, and the moment she walked in, she noticed the soft lighting, the elegant decor, the background hum of classical jazz. Everything was calm, but all she could see was Vanessa. Vanessa stood in the center like she owned the evening, in an emerald green bodycon gown, hair pulled into a high ponytail, eyeliner sharp, and lips wearing that signature confidence only runway models seem to have. People surrounded her, admiring, laughing, leaning in. And in every gesture, every smile, was that same carefully sweet poison she slipped into her DMS. "Hey!" Vanessa greeted like they were old friends. "You look different. This dress is cute. Did you borrow it from someone older? Gives off mature vibes." "Thanks," Emily replied with a strained smile. But something in her snapped. Dinner started off formal. Toasts, laughter, the usual small talk. But the real blow came when the waiter arrived to take orders. "All right," Vanessa beamed. "Let's do something fun. Everyone say your order out loud and share your guilty pleasure food." Laughter followed. Everyone joined in. Emily's turn. "I'll have the penne Alfredo and garlic rolls," she said softly. Vanessa's reaction was instant. "Oh wow, heavy cream and carbs? You're living wild, girl." A few chuckled. A few looked down. Emily froze. "Don't get me wrong," Vanessa continued. "You do you, babe. Just, metabolism isn't forever, you know?" Jake looked at his sister. "Enough, Vanessa." Vanessa winked. "Relax, it's just a joke." But it wasn't. It was public humiliation. Polished, rehearsed, and deadly. Then she delivered the final strike. Lifting her champagne glass, Vanessa smiled and said, "Also, thank you guys for being here. I mean, it's been such a year. New face, new job, new me." Her eyes flicked to Emily. "Emily, honey, I should give you my surgeon's card. He's the reason I have this jawline. You'd love him." This time, the laughter was louder. Emily looked around. Coldly. Calmly. The walls felt like they were buzzing in her ears. But she didn't feel fear anymore. She felt anger. Quiet, focused anger. She said nothing. Not then. But after dinner, as the group headed toward the dessert lounge, Emily found herself standing beside Vanessa's mother, Mrs. Blake, who was busy asking the waiter about the cake. Emily spoke, her voice level. Mrs. Blake, she said, did you know Vanessa had 2 nose jobs and cheek implants last year? Mrs. Blake blinked. No, I didn't. Really? Emily smiled. She told me your family believes in aging naturally. I guess she forgot to mention it. And just like that, she turned and walked toward the dessert table. For the first time that night, Vanessa's face went pale. Her mother stared at her, stunned. And Vanessa looked visibly rattled. That perfect smile? Gone, shattered. When Jake found out what Emily had said, he didn't speak. But there was a flicker of pride in his eyes. That night, Emily received no DM nothing. But the next day, a woman who prided herself on control looked broken. Vanessa stayed off social media all day. No stories, no mirror selfies, no gym clips. But by evening, Emily saw a new status pop up on her screen. Fake people will always bring up your past surgeries when they can't handle your present confidence. Emily stared at the screen for a moment and laughed. Soft, but victorious. But that wasn't the end. That night, Jake received a strange call. When he answered, there was nothing but heavy breathing. Then silence. The next morning, a black SUV sat parked outside Emily's house for several minutes. No sound, no movement. Then it drove off. Vanessa wasn't just jealous anymore. She was unraveling. Emily's words, her surgical truth bomb, had struck deep. But it didn't end with humiliation. Now Vanessa burned for revenge. And with that, a quiet war had begun to morph into something darker. The beginnings of a psychological vendetta. That night, as darkness swallowed the city, Emily's face glowed in the cold blue light of her phone screen. Her eyes were red, not from sleep, but from exhaustion and rage. She kept staring at the Instagram caption box, blank and taunting. Write something fake, something weak, or your sister doesn't come back. Jake sat beside her, phone in hand, calling Vanessa over and over again. But now, no answer. Since that last blurry photo on WhatsApp, Vanessa had gone offline. And Lily? She'd vanished. Something inside Emily had already broken. Her dignity, her sense of control, and most of all, her voice. Vanessa's ultimatum had hit straight at her soul. Post on Instagram that you lied, that you were just insecure. Say everything you said about me came from jealousy. Or Lily stays with me. Emily couldn't even tell who she was fighting anymore. A narcissistic sister-in-law? A chaotic, deranged mind? A master manipulator with a Wi-Fi signal? Maybe all 3. You don't have to do this, Jake said softly, but even his voice lacked conviction. If I don't, Emily whispered, barely audible, we may never see Lily again. And the cops, they won't act unless there's proof of physical harm. Emily picked up her phone and did what any older sister would do. She started typing. I want to publicly apologize to someone I love deeply. My boyfriend's sister, Vanessa Blake. Recently, I made some jealous, inaccurate, and unkind remarks about her appearance and lifestyle. The truth is, I've been struggling with my self-image, and instead of looking inward, I unfairly projected that onto her. Each word felt like swallowing glass, jagged, cutting, and bitterly unnatural. Vanessa has always been kind, supportive, and elegant. A role model to so many, including myself. I hope this message helps undo the hurt I've caused. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. She hit post. Silence filled the room. Emily set her phone down on the table like she'd just signed a deal with the devil. She didn't cry. She just sat there, like someone had taken a small piece of her soul and walked away with it. 10 minutes passed. 20. Jake picked up his phone again. No calls, no messages, nothing. Then finally, a single notification. Vanessa Blake liked your post. That was it. That's it? Emily muttered. Jake shook his head, stunned. Where the hell is Lily then? Emily texted Vanessa. I did what you said. Now send her back. Read. No reply. Hours passed. Then, a new Instagram story from Vanessa. A photo of a luxurious bubble bath with the caption, Sometimes, forgiveness takes time. But thank you for finally seeing the truth, babe. Emily's heart pounded. Hard, relentless, hopeless. She's not giving her back, Emily said. She's just enjoying this, every second of it. That night, Emily didn't eat. Jake's plate stayed full too. At 3:12 a.m., Emily's phone buzzed with a new video, 5 seconds long. Lily sat on a bed, tired but alive. No bruises, no blood, but her eyes were hollow. Then came the voice, unmistakably Vanessa's. See? She's fine. Now relax. Oh, and I loved the part where you called me a role model. That was cute. The video cut out. Emily's breathing grew rapid, shallow. She couldn't tell anymore. Was this some twisted psychological thriller, or her actual life? She contacted the police again, but without clear evidence of harm or intent. All they could do was monitor the situation. She set the phone down, leaned back against the wall, and looked at Jake. She doesn't want an apology, Emily said. Jake nodded slowly. She wants ownership. Emily's eyes didn't water. They burned with something new. Then we take it back, she said, with proof. The next morning, Emily woke Jake without saying a word. Her eyes didn't hold sleep. They held something sharper. Clarity. The kind of clarity that doesn't come from fear, but from a plan. She wasn't the victim anymore. She was someone reclaiming herself. Everything has to be recorded, she said to Jake. Every call, every message, every interaction. Jake blinked, taken aback. Emily had been shattered just days ago, but now there was no panic in her movements, only strategy. We can't beat Vanessa legally, Emily said, calm but firm. She'll paint us as manipulators, jealous girlfriend, insecure teenager, toxic sister figure. We don't need to prove ourselves innocent. We need her to expose herself. And there's only one way to do that. She has to talk. They repurposed Emily's old phone into a spy recorder, installed an app that captured audio in the background with boosted mic sensitivity to pick up even the softest whisper. Then Emily texted Vanessa. I want to talk. No more posts, no more fake smiles. Just you and me, for Lily. Vanessa responded instantly. That's mature. Come alone. My place. Tonight. Jake activated location tracking. Call recording was set up. A tiny Bluetooth mic was placed in Emily's ear, streaming live audio directly to Jake's phone. This wasn't a conversation anymore. It was surveillance. At 7:16 p.m., Emily stood outside Vanessa's apartment. Her hands were trembling. Her face? Still. Vanessa opened the door, wearing a white silk robe, wine glass in hand, with that same calculated smile. Didn't expect you to come looking this tired, she said. Emily tried to smile back. I haven't slept much. You know, kidnapping tends to do that. Vanessa laughed. Still playing the victim? Cute. Emily stepped inside. Her eyes scanned the room in seconds, no child in sight. But a messy corner caught her attention. Something had been hurriedly hidden. Where's Lily? Safe, Vanessa replied, taking another sip of wine. She needed a break from your toxic environment. I'm doing her a favor. Emily swallowed her anger and asked softly, Why are you doing this? Vanessa's laughter faded. Her eyes darkened. Because you humiliated me. You think it's okay? Telling my mom about my surgeries? Embarrassing me in front of my guests like I'm some kind of liar? You are a liar, Emily said. Her voice, sharper now, cut clean into the recording. Vanessa set the wine glass on the floor. Her tone shifted. Her posture, confrontational. "I made you," she said. "You were invisible until I started noticing you. People only cared about you because I gave you conflict. I gave you a narrative." Emily wasn't just listening. She was collecting evidence. "You're insane," she whispered. Vanessa walked to the table, picked up Emily's phone, the one she'd left there on purpose. "Recording this, aren't you? So predictable." Emily's heart skipped, but Vanessa couldn't unlock it. "Wrong passcode." She laughed. "Nice bluff." Emily leaned in slightly. "You're scared. That's why you're hiding behind Lily. Because deep down you know. If this story gets out, people won't admire you. They'll walk away." Vanessa's smile faded for the first time. "Admire me," she snapped. "They should admire me. I built myself, piece by piece, while girls like you just get pitied." Emily stood her ground. "Tell me what you did with her, out loud. Tell me everything." Vanessa stared into her eyes. Then, like a dam breaking, the words spilled. "I took her, yes. I picked her up, gave her ice cream, let her watch cartoons. And I told her what you really are, insecure, jealous, abusive. I told her to stay away from you." A tear rolled down Emily's cheek, but her voice didn't shake. "You manipulated a child." Vanessa snapped. "I taught her the truth." At that very moment, Jake pressed the stop button on his phone. Every word. Saved. Emily stood tall, voice steady. "This is over." Vanessa stepped in her way. "You'll lose her." Emily looked her in the eyes. Number I just got her back. She turned the knob, opened the door, and walked out. Jake was waiting in the car. "Got everything?" he said. Emily nodded. "Show it to the police," she replied. The rain had picked up across the city. Water sprayed from tires on the slick Tennessee roads, and somewhere in the distance, the soft hum of jazz drifted from a tired radio station. But in Jake and Emily's minds, only one thing mattered now: finding Lily. And this time, stopping Vanessa for good. Emily had the evidence. Vanessa's own voice, confessing everything. They both knew she was scared now. And when a narcissist is afraid, they don't fight. They run. And when they run, they always leave something behind. Emily began scrolling through Vanessa's Instagram again. A new story had just gone up. A shaky video showing a bathroom mirror, a suitcase, and 2 passports lying on a counter. The caption read, "Time for peace. People in this city are exhausting." "She's running," Emily said immediately, "and she's taking Lily with her." Jake grabbed his phone and called Officer Ramirez, their police contact, the one who'd opened the file on Vanessa weeks ago. "We have a voice confession," Jake said. "We've got probable cause, and we know she's trying to flee." Ramirez didn't hesitate. "Text me the address. I'll dispatch a unit immediately." Emily pointed at the building on her screen. "She's got Lily in that condo, the new place. No security cameras, no neighbors." Getting there wasn't easy. The building was tucked off a narrow street, and the rain made the roads dangerously slick. But Emily's focus was razor sharp. Lily was out there, probably terrified, and Emily was going to be her voice. They reached the 4th floor of Vanessa's apartment complex. The door was locked, but not digital. Jake pulled out a small device and bypassed it quickly. He knew Vanessa hadn't installed a smart lock, just a cheap mechanical latch. As soon as the door creaked open, they heard it. A muffled cry. Software like someone sobbing into a pillow. Emily rushed toward the sound. "Lily!" she called out. The room was dim, but near the closet something moved. Jake flicked on his flashlight, and there, behind cardboard boxes in the corner of the floor, was a small, trembling figure. Lily. Her face was tired, her eyes puffy. Her wrists were loosely wrapped in string, not tight, not harmful, just symbolic. As if she'd been scared, not truly restrained. Emily dropped to her knees and whispered, "Hey, baby, it's me." Lily hesitated for a split second, then threw herself into Emily's arms. "Don't cry," Emily whispered, wiping tears from both their faces. "She said you wouldn't come," Lily mumbled. "She said you were done with me." Emily held her tighter. "Never. She lied. She always lies." Just then, tires screeched outside. Jake and Emily froze. "She's back?" Jake asked. Emily quickly tucked Lily into a corner and peered out the window. A black SUV had pulled up, but it wasn't Vanessa's. It was the police. Officer Ramirez stepped out, followed by two uniformed officers. They made their way to the door. "Is she here?" Ramirez asked. "No," Emily answered. "But she was, and she's planning to run." The officers swept the apartment. They found a suitcase. Inside were clothes, passports, stacks of cash, and a fake ID. Name: Veronica Hill. "Classic flight risk," Ramirez muttered. But the real fear still lingered. Vanessa was gone. Emily looked down at Lily, resting her head in her lap, finally safe. And then, outside, screeching tires again. Hearts froze. Everyone tensed. Ramirez took position behind the door. "That's her," he whispered. The door opened, but it wasn't Vanessa. It was a male Uber driver. "Pick up for Vanessa?" he asked. Jake clenched his fists. "She's a step ahead." Emily understood instantly. Vanessa had sent the car, but she'd vanished long before. She was buying time. "Where to?" Ramirez asked the driver. "Airport," he said, but she canceled midway. Told me to drop off her bag here. Said someone else would pick it up. Emily turned to Ramirez, fury simmering beneath her voice. "She's playing games. We have to stop this, permanently." Ramirez asked for Emily's phone. She handed over the voice recording. Within minutes, he had initiated the process for a felony warrant. "If she's spotted now," he said, "we arrest on sight." Emily stood up, held Lily close against her shoulder. "No more apologies," she whispered. "Just truth and justice." Emily never imagined she'd be sitting in a room like this. Walls covered in memo boards, red threads linking thumbtacks, and sticky notes scattered across every surface like whispers of madness. But here she was, inside the Tennessee Police Department's Psychological Profiling Division. Vanessa Blake was no longer just a suspect. She was now officially classified as a Category B threat. Officer Ramirez placed a thick file in front of Emily. Bold letters stamped across the front. Subject: Vanessa Blake Risk Profile, Instability, Manipulation, Obsession. Emily opened it, and the very first page sent shivers down her spine. It contained copies of Vanessa's handwritten notes, pages of planning, timing logs, locations of Emily and Lily, even records of Emily's menstrual cycle, meticulously tracked to predict when she'd be most emotionally vulnerable. "She wasn't just angry," Ramirez said quietly. "She was obsessed. This wasn't emotional retaliation. This was engineered degradation." Emily's hands trembled as she turned the page. There was a diagram, a step-by-step flowchart Vanessa had drawn. Stage 1, build trust. Stage 2, undermine confidence. Stage 3, gaslight. Stage 4, isolate. Stage 5, collapse. "This is," Emily whispered, "this is how cult leaders think." "Exactly," Ramirez nodded. "And you weren't her first." Emily froze. "What do you mean?" Ramirez pulled out another file. Her first known victim was in Austin, a girl named Rachel. Emily repeated the name. "Rachel." "Yeah," Ramirez said. "She reached out after your story went viral. Turns out Vanessa did something disturbingly similar to her 3 years ago. took her younger brother, gaslit her into a breakdown, and nearly got her committed to a psych facility. Emily felt the wound deepen. Only this time, it wasn't her own. It was a pattern. Vanessa's pattern. "Where's Rachel now?" Emily asked. "On Zoom," Ramirez replied. "She's been waiting to speak with you." He pulled a laptop forward. On screen appeared a young woman in a faded black t-shirt, deep circles under her eyes, the kind that come from years of sleepless nights. "Hi," Rachel said softly. "I'm so sorry you had to go through this, but I'm glad someone finally stood up to her." Emily nodded slowly. "What did she do to you?" Rachel's voice wavered. "She made me believe I was insane. She forged texts, sent fake emails to my school, even pretended to be a therapist and called my parents saying I needed help. When my brother disappeared, she told everyone I kidnapped him." Emily's blood ran cold. "Did anyone believe you?" Rachel gave a sad smile. "Not at first, but I got lucky. She dropped a flash drive by mistake. It had recordings, all her messages, phone calls, videos, like trophies." Emily turned to Ramirez. "That means she keeps souvenirs." Ramirez nodded. "We found a hidden cloud folder. The same audio file you gave us was in there, and dozens more. She's been doing this for years, across multiple states." Emily closed her eyes for a moment. This wasn't just about Lily anymore. This was about dozens of victims. A criminal pattern of mental and emotional abuse. A predator in plain sight. "What now?" Emily asked. Ramirez responded firmly. "She's being upgraded to a federal-level watch list. Her name's going out to all bordering airports, bus terminals, car rental agencies. We've also sent out a bulletin to former acquaintances. If she contacts anyone, they're to report immediately." Emily took a slow, steady breath. There was no fear in her anymore. No anger either. Just a cold, unwavering resolve. That evening, Emily posted on Instagram. It was a photo. Lily in her arms, tired, safe, loved. The caption read, "Truth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's hidden in closets, in broken phones, in brave little girls. Thank you to everyone who believed me. If you were ever made to feel small, crazy, or fake, you're not alone. We're not alone." In just hours, the post had thousands of comments. Women, men, even parents, all sharing their stories. Vanessa was still running. But the mask was off. Vanessa's arrest never made the headlines. It didn't flash across breaking news banners. There was no viral hashtag, no sirens, no drama. But for Emily, and for the dozens who had heard her story, it was a victory unlike any other. Quiet, personal, unshakably real. They found her in a rundown motel just a few miles outside Tennessee. Checked in under the alias Veronica Hill, her hair chopped short, her name buried under forged documents. Beside her, a burner phone, a fake passport, a bundle of loose cash, and a notebook. Only this time, it didn't contain plans about Emily or Rachel. It was filled with fragments of herself, a woman unraveling. When Ramirez called Emily, his voice was calm, but weary. "We got her. Motel room. No resistance." Emily was silent for a few seconds, then simply asked, "Should I tell Lily?" "Absolutely," Ramirez said. "She needs closure too." A week passed. Emily slept with Lily every night now, nestled in the middle, hand in hand, a storybook in between them. Lily still woke up in the middle of the night, and every time, she asked the same question. "She can't take me again, right?" And every time, Emily answered, "No, she won't, never again." Jake had helped them move into a new apartment, small, quiet, bathed in sunlight. Emily had returned to college, but she wasn't the same insecure girl anymore. She was something else now, an overcomer. The kind of woman who speaks up when the world begs her to stay silent. Vanessa's trial was escalated to federal court. She faced multiple charges: kidnapping, a minor criminal, coercion, emotional abuse, identity fraud, intentional psychological manipulation. Rachel flew in to testify. Her voice trembled, but she didn't. During Emily's testimony, the courtroom went still. "Why did you wait to come forward?" the judge asked. Emily spoke quietly. "Because when you grow up being told you're too sensitive, you start to believe it. But when your little sister disappears, and the person who took her says you deserved it, you stop being quiet." Vanessa sat stone-faced, her hair disheveled, nail polish chipped, no makeup, no mask. For the first time, she didn't look like an influencer. She just looked like a girl who had wounded others with her own wounds. The judge said, "This isn't about one girl. This is about every person who suffers silently under people who wear perfection like armor and use kindness as a weapon." Vanessa was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison, with no parole eligibility for at least 7 years. No cameras waited outside the courtroom. No press. Just Emily and Rachel, sharing a long glance. 2 stories. Now a single warning. Emily started therapy, so did Lily, with a child trauma counselor. Their healing wasn't cinematic. There were no montages, just small steps. One day without a flashback, one night without fear, and the hardest of all, learning to love themselves again. One afternoon, Emily scrolled back to her old Instagram post, the one where she'd called Vanessa a role model. She deleted it. In its place, she posted something new. Healing is not erasing. It's remembering without bleeding. The first comment came from Rachel. "We rise." When Thanksgiving arrived, Emily posted a photo of Lily for the first time. In it, Lily was smiling, holding up a handmade card that read, "I'm thankful for my sister who saved me." Emily captioned the photo. "She thought she broke me, but all she did was ignite a fire I didn't know I had." That post received thousands of comments, but one message stood out. "Hi, I've never told anyone, but your story gave me the strength to say this. My aunt did something similar to me. I thought I was crazy, but now I know I'm not." Emily replied, "You're not crazy. You're not alone. I believe you." Because now, this wasn't just Emily's story. It had become a voice for the thousands of girls who were once told to be quiet. So, friends, if you liked the video, then please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us how you liked the story.